Everyone, my name is Hilary Chin. Thank you for coming and watching our YouTube channel. Today we want to teach you how to use pivot tables to analyze this data that you see here. Okay, just stay put with us. When you look at this data here, you see that we have organizations from A to H. Here you see that we have boys. These are the boys, number of boys that they have reached out to, number of girls, and you have total children here, summing of the boys and girls to give us total children here. They also have IDP boys, IDP girls, summing up these IDP boys and girls, and we have the total IDPs here. And then the overall total here is getting this total children plus total IDPs and all summing up here. Okay, I just wanted to have an understanding of the table. Good. So for us to create a pivot table and also design a visualization, you see that we have to do three things. The first one is we want to get pivot tables that talks about total children. The second one talks about total IDP, and then the third one talks about overall total. From this, now we are going to be designing visualizations, and then we are going to bring it to our dashboards. So we are going to design a dashboard here. But quickly, let's start with our pivot tables. So to create a pivot table is simple. All you need to do is to click within your table. Please don't click out. Within your table, wherever, no matter how big it is, just click within the table and you come to insert up here. And then you select pivot tables and then you choose. Now when you choose pivot table, it asks you to go to new sheet. Okay, always go to new sheet, because if you say existing sheet, it will still appear here. It's going to create some it's not going to look nice when you start analyzing. It's going to confuse a little bit. So we go to new sheet and we click OK. So because this, now we have created a pivot table, you see this is it. It has brought us here to a new sheet here. So remember that this pivot table, all what you see here, these are columns. Okay, these columns are those that are on the original table. You see here. Good. So why we click pivot, the first pivot table, it now took us here. So this is a pivot table here. I'll explain this to you. So we want to name this. We want to double click under here, it highlights, and then we click backspace and we name the total children. Okay, we want this to be analyzing total children. And on our pivot table here, you will see that we have organization, boys, girls, etc. It has 4 spaces here. This space is for filters. This one is for rows. These are our rows on our Excel sheet. This one is columns, our columns. This one is values. It means if you put something here, it will appear in a row format. If you put something here, it appears in a column format. If you put something here, it starts analyzing the values either by counting it or by summing it or by giving the average, etc. So that is what this means. If you put something here, it means you want to filter. It means you want to select part of it. Okay, we'll be doing this when we start dragging and dropping. That is the idea about pivot tables. Why we drag and drop, it automatically gives us our analysis. So we want to create the next pivot table now for total IDP. So we click again, goes up to insert, go to pivot tables, and we select pivot tables, and then we go to new sheet, and then it gives us another new pivot table. We double click down here, we backspace, and then we say total IDPs. Okay, now we create our last pivot table that we promised for overall children. We click here again and we go to insert, and then we choose, and then we come here, and then we go to new sheet, and then we click OK. You see, it now brings us again here, and we double click, we backspace, and we say overall, total overall. Great. So we have 3 pivot tables now. And before we start doing our analysis, I'd like us to go to dashboards here, and we prepare our dashboard. So preparing our dashboard is easy. We just click a range here, and then we come to merge. We go to home, and then we come to merge and center, and we click. It now merges. Okay, in the middle we just want to say maybe this is this tree, vision of school supplies to, okay, let's just see distribution of school supplies. Okay, and when we click in the middle of this merge, we want to color it. We want to give it this kind of color. We also want to increase the font size. We double click and then we select this. We want to increase the font size. We come up here and then we double click. We click it many times. You see, it makes it bigger. And then here now we want to go to view up here, and then now we click on the sheet, and then we go to view up here, and then we remove grid lines. You see we now have a plain field for our dashboard. So we come back now to the first pivot table that want to find out the children per organization. We now come and take we'll start dragging and dropping. So we drag organization in. We want it to appear by rows. You see A, B, C. You see it appears by rows, and we also want this total children to be summing up boys, girls, and total children. You see, so you see what pivot table does. It does the summation automatically. Now, why do we have summations? Because there's an option here. If I click here and I come to value field settings, you see it gives me this option here, and I want you to take note of something. If we choose count here, it will be counting 1 2 3 4 5 6. It gives us, we'll see that it will be counting the columns. But now that we have choose sum, it will be summing up. It will say 1442 plus 650 plus 620. So summation means it sums every value in a column. Count means it just counts the column regardless of which value is inside. Okay, I just wanted you to take note of that. Also, if we want to look for the average, we'll just come here and we click and it automatically gives us the average, but that's not what we want to look for today. So we click off this. Okay, now while we have already selected, now we can come here and create a visual. Creating visual is simple. Just click in the middle of this and then you come up here and choose a visual. I would like us to group the column bars. We could just select it and then we come here and we choose. You see, wow, it appears here now. Now we have the column bars right here. There's something I want you to also take note of. We can come here and start filtering. Filtering simply means that this filter here simply means choosing what you need at the moment and leaving out others. Okay, that's what filter means. So they might tell us to say, okay, select the first 3 organizations. We say A, B, C, and we click OK. You see, it now gives us just the first 3 organizations. Are you seeing here? But that's not what we want for this video. We want all the organization, then we just select all. I just wanted to teach you something here. And then here again, they might ask us, you see, it looks very dirty. In my opinion, it doesn't really look clear. Now it's kind of confusing. So we can just click on any of these here, and then we right click. And then you say hide all fill buttons. Okay, because we want our stuff to be clean. You see it disappears all the fill buttons. We can also click here and then we click backspace. It cleans this off. And then also we click on these grid lines and then we click right click and then we say format grid lines and then we click and then we go to no line. We don't want to see any line here, and then we press close. You see it's cleaner now. We can also come here and select this. Remember that this light green represents sum of total children, the blue represents sum of girls, sum of boys rather, and then the red represents sum of girls. So we can decide to put the data label on. So if I click here and right click, so you see data label, add data label. You see, okay, I've chosen just one, so I want to choose all of them. So now I've chosen all of the red, and then I right click and then it says add data label. You see it has given me data label for all of the red. Okay, I just wanted you to get this. Now if I want to put title here, I just need to click here and go to layout. Per my own Excel sheet, this is where I have my title. It might be in a different sheet, in a different location on your sheet. Okay, so don't bother to cram this. Just try to understand it and know how to click and then look for your titles. So yeah, I'll just put total children. Okay, while I put this, is now visible, and I Control C and I come to my dashboard and then I put Control V. Now I have pasted my first visual on my dashboard. It's going good. It's going good. Just stay put with us. Let's do this. Okay, we go to the next pivot table. We'll just be fast about this. We'll take our organization. Now we want to look for total IDPs. We just click and then we come here, we click, we go here, we choose a different we choose a bar chart. We come here, we choose this one and then we click OK. It gives us a sweet bar chart here. We come here and then we click and then we hide all fill buttons and then we click on the grid line and we format grid line and then we say no grid line. Yeah, and then we come here and we say data labels. We want to see our data labels here. Come here, we right click, we want to see our data labels here. We come here, we right click, we want to see data labels here, and then we want to adjust this to come right down. Perfect. And then we want to put titles. We go to layout again, we choose title chart. We want to put it in the center. We come here and then we see that total IDPs, and then again we Control C, and we come to our dashboard and we click, and then we say Control V. No, sorry, this man is still click. We delete this man. We have to select this properly. We click on it, Control C, and then we come here. I'm sorry, we want to be good. Now we have brought it here. I'm sorry about that, it took us some time. Then right here now, this is where we are. So we go to the last pivot table to get the overall children. Okay, so we just choose organization. So to get overall children is total children plus total IDP. Okay, and then you get the total overall. And then we right click, go to here, and then we want to choose column again, but we want to come to this kind of chart, and then we click OK, and it gives us this. Wow. And then we come here, and then we right click, and we hide all field buttons. We click here, click backspace to reduce that. We click on this small grid line, right click, it gives us, tells us to format our grid lines, and then we go to no field, and then we off this off, and then we come here, and then we right click, and then we say add data labels. We go again to the red, add data labels. We go again to the blue that represent sum of total, or we add data labels, and then we click here, and then we click here, and then we adjust this. Okay, and then we click here now, and we go to layout, choose our title, and then on our title we say total overall. Okay, total overall. Then now we click here, Control C, and then we bring it to our dashboard. You see, it's going real good. It's going real good. So there's something I want us to note here. I don't want this to be appearing because this is our dashboard. Okay, it's appearing because we are bringing data from pivot table, so it's affecting here. So we'll just right click. We'll just right click in one of the tables, and then we put hide field settings, so this will not appear again. Okay, and then we come down here a little bit. Sorry, a little bit, and then we start adjusting. You just need to be creative about this. Okay. Now there's something I want to teach us here. Is very powerful. Slicers here helps you to, from the name, it just helps you to slice things. Okay, just slice things, slice what you want to see at the moment and keep what you don't want to see at the moment. Okay, that's what slicers does. I want us to make this really smaller so we can be seeing all of them well, can be visualizing well for all of us to see. So right here now, you just have to be very creative. You just have to be creative in order to adjust this in such a way that everyone can see. So this is our visuals now. So now I want to create slicers. So I need to click here, and then I go to data. Okay, I'll show that I click here, I go to data, and then now here in data, I want to insert. Sorry, I want to insert slicers. So these are slicers here. You see, so I choose. No, I have to click inside, and then I choose click inside any of the visuals, and then you choose slicers because you want to choose slicers for that visuals. Okay, and I want to slice this by organizations. Okay, you see, I can slice by boys, by girls, but I want to slice by organizations. From here you understand what I mean, and I click OK. Wow, it appears here now. It brings me this slicer here. So one thing I want us to do is I want to connect this slicer with all these other tables, because this slicer is affecting just one table. Now you see it's affecting only this table, so I want to connect it with these other tables, two tables. So I'll just come to the slicers, right click, and I go to pivot table connections. Okay, and I click. You see now it gives me options of all the slicers. You have total IDP slicer here, is already connected to it. Total children here is not connected, so I'm going to come here and connect. Total overall here is not connected, so I'm going to connect. You see, and then I click OK. To see what happens now, if management calls you and say, hey, I want to see what is happening with organization A, you just click. You see how it's changing. So organization A is already giving you the data for organization A. I want to see what is happening with organization B. You see, it's already giving you. Organization C is giving you. Okay, but there's something I want us to do here. I want us to add data labels for these other ones here. So this is just so powerful. Okay, it's not going. Okay, we're supposed to do it. Okay, add data labels. Great, I've added data labels again. So when we come to version B, you see it begins to change. You see it begins to change. So this is the power of pivot tables and how to analyze. Thank you very much for watching.